Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. This is the only game in town on May the 7th. Only American League scheduled May 7th are these two teams, Baltimore and Minnesota. We are at the Metrodome, and ballpark effects are going to be friendly, hitter friendly. Singles left 1 to 16, right 1 to 13, home runs 1 to 11 both ways. This is game number 184 in the replay. Two lefties going at it. Frank Viola against Mike Flanagan, both coming to the game with a record of 2-2. On the season, the Orioles are 12-14. The Twins are 10-16. And if we look at the previous game played between these two teams, pull up their score sheet and see what happened on the last time they played. Let's take a look here if I can find it. Where did I put it is the question. Here we go. This was a game won by the Orioles 9-5 over the Twins. The Orioles scored 6 runs in the 6th inning to knock out Bert Blyleven, and they made a winner out of Scott McGregor. Now, pitchers unavailable in this game. Juan Berenguer pitched 3 innings in that game, so he has to be rested. Ken Dixon went 2 2/3 in relief, so he has to be rested. So each team has one pitcher that is unavailable due to fatigue. Tabby is in here, but she's kind of hemming and hawing about whether she wants to be in or out. So I know as soon as I open the door and let her out, she'll scratch to get back right back in. Tabby. She's doing her bath. Come over here. Come here, Tabby. All right, come here. Come here, Ripper. Come here. I got you. All right. Just so you know, I'm not kidding. Tabby is right here. She's not too happy about it being stuck here. I don't want to force her, so. All right. Okay. Okay. You can jump down now. All right. Go ahead. There you go. All right. Hello, Ben. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ernest. Good to see all of you. I think Tabby's had her fill of a cameo. Now she wants to go out of the room, I think. So we let her out there. She may scratch later. I'll keep an ear out and see if she scratches later. We will find out. All right, as I was saying, Baltimore enters the game 12-14, Minnesota 10-16. But again, Berenguer for the Twins and Dixon for the Orioles are unavailable out of the pen due to pitching multiple innings in the previous game. So we're ready to get going. Frank Viola finishing up the warm-up tosses. He enters this game 2-2 with an ERA of 1.88. 48 innings pitched, only 27 hits. Really incredible innings pitched to hit ratio. 15 walks, 29 strikeouts. Leading off for the Orioles and struggling in that leadoff position is Alan Wiggins. He checks in, hitting a .195, a home run, 7 driven in. Has stolen 8 bases, but you got to get on base to steal. You can't steal first. That's the problem. Hello, Thomas. Good to see you. So here we go. Viola, 3-4 to Wiggins. Switch hitter batting against the left-hander is a line out to short. That is snagged over there by Al Newman, who is giving Greg Gagne the day off. So Al Newman is at short in this one. Did I bring up not Jim Dwyer. What's he doing there? It's supposed to be Rick Burleson. Did I not get this stuff straight or what? I had Rick Burleson in there for some reason. I don't know why. I had Jim Dwyer in there, I should say. And I don't know why I had Jim Dwyer in there, but I did. So we'll fix that. Rick Burleson is the second baseman. I think Jim Dwyer trying to play second base would be a fiasco. Burleson hitting .148, no homers and a run driven in. He only hit .209 real world, so it's not too far off of that. Hello to everybody that's just joined. And we're ready to go. Viola, 2-7 to Burleson. That's a ground ball to Gaetti at third. And quickly 2 up and 2 down for Cal Ripken. Again, this is the only game on the May 7th date, so we will go to May 8th. The next video on Strat-O-Matic will be Saturday. It'll be coming from Boston. It'll be California and Boston as we get a new set of opponents as the teams move around. So starting May 8th, we'll have a whole bunch of new series, and the first game will be California at Boston from Fenway. All right, so here's Ripken. He is hitting 248. The plan is tomorrow to do inside pitch 1977, tomorrow night. And then Saturday at noon is the season ticket 1978 game. And then tomorrow, Saturday night, will be the Boston, California game on Strat-O-Matic. So again, Ripken 248, 4 homers, 13 driven in. It's a 1-5, and that's a line out to second. So three plays all went off the batter cards, and Viola got 3 outs out of it. So didn't even have to be there. How about that? All right, so that brings up Mike Flanagan. Mike Flanagan, the lefty. He is also 2-2 on the replay. Flanagan has an ERA of 2.81, 32 innings pitched, 35 hits, 7 walks, and 23 strikeouts. So Newman is going to lead things off. He's hitting 262, no homers, 5 driven in. He is at shortstop in this one, as Gagne gets the day off, or the night off, however you want to look at it. 1-4 against the lefty. That's a solid double for Al Newman. So Tom Kelly knew what he was doing, putting Newman in that leadoff spot at shortstop as he just cranks a double. And that'll bring up Dan Gladden, who was the typical leadoff hitter for the Twins. Gladden hitting 264, 3 homers, 8 driven in. That's a 6-9, and that's a fly ball right field. That's 1 away. 1 down, and that will flip it over to the DH, Kirby Puckett. He is designated hitting, giving him a break in the field for a change as Gladden plays center field. Puckett on the replay is hitting 304, 3 homers, 9 driven in. 2-6 against the lefty. That's a single to right field. It's an anti-clutch, but there are not 2 outs. So the single is good. Simmons, the right fielder, is a -1 arm. Newman at second base was not being held, so that makes him a 16. -1's a 15. 1-15. And do they send him? If they send him, Puckett's going to take second base. So they're going to allow him to score and keep Puckett at first base, keep that double play in order, and try to prevent a big inning. The odds just not with them to throw through like that. So Puckett, RBI single for Puckett. And to get the lead, he needs a 4, 5, or a 6. Hello, Colin. 4, 5, or 6. That's a 6. He gets the lead. So a 1-15, he would steal it. Being held to 1-13, -2 there's a 1-11. 1-11, and Puckett, it steals second base. And he was in there, but he overslid the bag, and he is out stealing as Burleson put the tag on. So he had it, but then he overslid the bag. So out 2-4 as Kennedy throws him out, 2 down. Base is clear now for Gary Gaetti. Gaetti at third in this game is hitting 269, 4 homers, 19 driven in. That's a 3-7 for Gaetti. He strikes out. That's going to end the inning. But the Twins get a run. Double from Newman, single from Puckett. At the end of 1, it's Twins 1 and Orioles nothing. We go to the top of the second. It'll be Murray, Knight, and Simmons due up for the Orioles to take on Mr. Viola. Murray, Knight, and Simmons. And then Kennedy and Shelby and Gerhardt round it out. But Murray, switch hitter, will step to the plate. Murray on the replay hitting 350. He's red hot. 6 homers and 20 driven in. He's near the lead. He's near the league leading in hitting. I think that's currently held by Brooke Jacoby, but he's close. 1-5, and that's not going to hurt his average. 1-16 is a home run. That's gone. Eddie Murray, look at that. 1-5 against the lefties. 1-16 is a home run. That's a 9. Eddie Murray, home run number 7. RBI number 21. And we have a tie ball game. Eddie Murray goes deep. We're all knotted up at 1, and here comes Ray Knight, third baseman. He's hitting .294, 4 homers, 11 driven in. It's a 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Newman. He's a 3-E-12. 3-E-12. 3-17, he'll get to it. E12. E12 and an 11 for a shortstop. E12 and an 11. There is no 11. There's a 15, 3, and an 18, but no 11. So good play for Newman as he throws out Ray Knight. 1 away, and that takes us to Nelson Simmons. Simmons on the replay, hitting .318, 3 homers, 11 driven in. .311 against the lefty. That's a ground ball to third. Gaetti will take care of that. 2 down. And it brings us to Terry Kennedy, the catcher, one of the few lefties in the lineup. In fact, he's the only lefty in the lineup is Terry Kennedy. Kennedy on the replay, hitting .245, 8 homers, 19 driven in. 6-8, and that's a fly to right. Brunansky takes care of it, ends the inning, but the home run from Eddie Murray has tied the ball game. We go to the bottom of the second, 1 apiece from the Metrodome. Coming up for the Twins, it'll be Herbeck, Brunansky, and Tim Laudner against Mike Flanagan. Kent Herbeck on the replay, hitting .320, 8 homers, 22 driven in. 5-2 to the lefties, a fly ball to right. Simmons is there, 1 away. 1 down, and that takes us to Tom Brunansky. Bruno is hitting .284, 3 homers, 10 driven in. 3-6. That's a ground ball to Ripken at short. 2 down. And that'll send us to Tim Laudner, the catcher. Laudner hitting .222, 2 homers and 6 driven in. He's got 4 out of 18, and 3 of the 4 hits are extra bases. He's got 1 double and 2 homers, 1 single. 4-5, and that's a pop-up to Ripken, and that's going to end the inning. 1, 2, 3, go the Twins. And at the end of 2, it's 1-1. Due up for the O's, it'll be John T-Bone Shelby playing center field as they give Fred Lynn the night off against the lefty. Shelby, soon to be traded to the Dodgers for Tom Niedenfuhr, but right now is on the Orioles. He is hitting .208, 1 homer, 5 driven in. 4-7, switch to everybody in right-handed. Ground ball second base X, that is Lombardosi. He's a 2-E18. 2-1, that's going to get through for a base hit. That evil D20 comes up again. E18, and we get a 14. E18 and a 14. There's a 13, but no 14, so no error on the play, but Shelby will get the base hit as he knocks it on the carpet right past Lombardozzi for a leadoff single. Shelby does have 2 steals on the replay, but he's not very good about getting the lead. Well, it's got 2 through 12 to get him the lead, but boy, his numbers here are just terrible. So I'm not going to send him anywhere. I think he got most of those steals on his, because Strat-O-Matic has a combined card, and I think that's what they're getting those steals from his time with the Dodgers. So we'll leave him alone right where he is. He will be held. Just to be realistic, he will be held. And here's Ken Gerhart. Gerhart, the left fielder, is hitting .230, 6 homers, 14 driven in. 1-5. That's a pop up to second base. And Lombardozzi will handle it. 1 down. Back to the top of the order for Alan Wiggins. Wiggins. 6-3, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-13. That's an 11. It's a base hit for Alan Wiggins. Going to put first and second, 1 out. And Rick Burleson, the batter. He is the designated hitter in this game of all things. Not a very good hitter to be your DH, but that's who they have. 5-9, and that's a strikeout. First strikeout for Viola. Took him 3 innings to get one. But he finally secures one for out number 2. And now here's Cal Ripken in a clutch situation. Hello, Roger. Good to see you. Clutch situation for Cal with 2 outs and 2 on. Against lefties, he gains a hit on 3-9 and also on 2-2. So he is positive on the clutch side in certain instances. Slight advantage. 1-8, and didn't need to clutch for this. 1-4 is a triple, 5-20 is a double. That'll be a double for Cal. Wiggins is almost certainly to score from first. He runs at a 17, was not being held, makes him an 18. 2 outs makes him a 20. Doubles assumed to go to center, Gladden's a 0, so he's going to score automatically. So a 2-run double for Cal Ripken. 2-run, 2-out double. And the Orioles grab a 3-1 lead. And here comes Eddie Murray. He homered his first time up. Six, 7, and that's a strikeout. So Viola gets the strikeout, but 2 runs will score. And we go to the bottom of the third. It's 3-1 O's over the Twins. Somewhat surprising score, but we've got a long way to go. Mike Flanagan back out. Will be facing Lombardozzi, Davidson, and Newman. Lombardozzi hitting .250, 2 homers, 9 driven in. 1-8, and that's a split chance. 1-3 is a single, but that's an 18. That'll be a line out to short. 1 away. For the number 9 man, Mark Davidson. Davidson hitting .281, 1 homer, 4 driven in. 6-4, that's a ballpark single check. 1-13, that's a base hit. Go to a single check here, you're in very good shape to get a single, put it that way. Here's Davidson. He's a 2 through 5 to get the lead. He cannot get the lead. He will hold. And that'll bring up Newman, the switch hitter. 5-11. Fly ball left field X. That's Gerhardt. He's a 2E10. 2 with an E10. 2 and a 17. He'll get to it. E10. And that is a 10. Should be okay. We'll verify. E10 and a 10 for an outfielder. And that's good play. No 10 there. So a good play for Gerhardt. Takes care of Newman. 2 down. And it'll be up to Dan Gladden. Gladden flew to right his first chance. Nothing on the havoc. 1-9, and against the left-hander, that's a single. 1-6, 7-20 lines at the short. That is a 6. So he sneaks out a base hit. It's only 1 star. So Davidson will hold at second base. But now the tying runs are on for Kirby Puckett. He singled his first time up, had an RBI single, and then got caught stealing. No, Roger, that one's kind of been on the back burner. It's just it drew very little interest, so I just decided to put that to the back burner. It just, most people weren't really into that, so figured I'd play the games people wanted to see more often with your Strat, inside pitch, and season ticket. That's a 2, so it's balk or pass ball. That's going to be a pass ball chance on Kennedy. He's a 2. Nope, nothing going on there. So here's Puckett, clutch situation in the clutch against the lefties. He loses a hit here. here, and here. So he's definitely anti-clutch. 6-5 as a fly to center. That's going to end the inning. All down out there by Shelby. Takes care of business. And after 3 complete, it's the Orioles 3 and the Twins 1. I mean, I haven't totally killed the Reds replay. Just I've got it on the back burner. I may do a lot of that stuff offline because I do enjoy the game. It's just that I had a feeling when I was playing it, people were wishing I was doing other games. So that's what happened with that. All right, here's Ray Knight. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. 3rd strikeout for Viola. And I've got 3 projects going right now, so I don't think I can afford to add a 4th one on at the moment. Here's Simmons. Whoa, hopping dice. Let's redo that. 4-9, right-handed. And that's a walk. First walk issued by Viola. Simmons will not be held. Here's Terry Kennedy. Kennedy flew to right his first chance. 6-5, left-handed. That's a fly to left. So fly to right, now fly to left. 2 down. And it's going to be up to John Shelby, center fielder. Singleton scored his first time up. 4-5, switcher to batting right-handed, and that's a 1-17 double. 2 stars, though, so Simmons has to stop at third base. He cannot score because of the 2-star effect on that 4-5. It's a 2-star effect, so unable. Is the question. I think we are. Had a little snafu there. Xfinity is driving me crazy, this internet stuff. But we are back. I think the last thing I did was Viola struck out Gerhardt to end the inning. I don't know if that came on video or not, but that's where I finished. Now we're ready to start the bottom of the 4th with a 3-1 ball game. So that's where we are. Mike Flanagan will be facing Gary Gaetti. Gaetti struck out his first time up. That's a 4-5 to the right-hander. It's a pop-up to Ripken at short, 1 away. Of course, I had to, when I rebooted, I lost the Strat computer, so I'm just going to have to redo the game all over again. I'm not going to score it as I'm playing or anything like that. I'm just going to play it out off the computer after the game is over, which means I got to tally all the stats manually, which is good practice, I guess. Here's Herbeck. Sometimes you get too dependent on the computer and you get lazy. 4-10, that's a fly to left, put away by Gerhardt, 2 down. And here is Tom Brunansky. That's a 5-3, and it's a fly to right field. X Simmons, 4E16 for Nelson Simmons. 4-2, that's going to drop probably for a double, and it is. A 4-2 is a double. E16 and a 10, I think, is okay. It is. So, but it will be a double for Tom Brunansky, a 2-out double. Hello, Mr. Little. Glad you came in after the snafu. The Xfinity wanted to lock up on me and create those Belinda Carlisle circles in the sand, which we don't need right now. And Mr. Little, we will stay away from any California banks today in this chat, hopefully. All right, so here is Laudner. Brunansky will not be held at second base. 2 outs, clutch situation for Laudner against Flanagan in the clutch. He is completely neutral. He has no effect in the clutch. Flanagan to Laudner. 4-6, and he struck him out. Obviously, he's not tired yet, so the strikeout is good. Strikeout number 2 for Flanagan. But more importantly, he takes care of the Twins, and at the end of 4 is 3-1 O's in the lead. And that'll bring up It would definitely be. It might even. Well, I don't think there's any such thing as G anymore because that's just even not even Disney is G anymore. So I guess PG-13 is the best we're going to be able to do with that. All right, so here's Alan Wiggins. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. 4-5, and that is a double 1 to 17, and that is a 17, right on the number. So Alan Wiggins, a leadoff double, and he can certainly fly. He will be held at second base. Here's Rick Burleson, the DH. Almost an oxymoron in terms, saying Burleson and DH. 3-8, and he draws the walk. So Viola in a little bit of trouble. As I showed at the beginning of the game, in the previous game, Juan Berenguer tossed 3 innings of relief, so he's unavailable. Everyone else is rested. Just Juan Berenguer is not available. Here's Cal Ripken. That's a 2, chance for balk or pass ball. Looking at a balk chance on Mr. Viola. His balk rating is a 2. He does not balk. So Ripken steps to the plate, first and second, nobody out. 5-5. That's a ground ball second base C that acts just like a sacrifice, as both runners will advance. And now the infield's going to have to come in, and actually they're going to intentionally walk Eddie Murray. They don't want to deal with him. They're going to load the bases, set up a force play or set up a double play for Ray Knight. That's the move Tom Kelly's going to make. They're not going to mess around with Eddie Murray. So bases loaded, 1 out. Infield looking for that double play on Ray Knight. 5-9, and that's a strikeout. They don't get the double play, but they do get the strikeout. 5th strikeout for Viola. And now it's down to Nelson Simmons with 2 outs in the bases full of O's. There's a bird on every nest. Clutch situation. He loses a hit on the 1-8 in the clutch. Everything else is neutral for him. Viola to Simmons. Simmons is 0 for 1 with a walk. It's a 6-10, and that's a fly ball center field X. That's Dan Gladden. 3 and an E5 for Gladden. 3 and 15, he'll get to it. E5 is the question. And that is a 10, so that should be okay, I would think. E5, yep, there's no 10 for that. So good play. And Viola pitches out of the mess. Keeps his team in the game. 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Definitely PG rated with no puns. Serious baseball when we play Strat. A little looser when I play inside pitch, but Strat I try to keep seriously. All right, here's Lombardozzi. 6-9, and that's a fly to right field. Simmons puts it away, 1 down. And the number 9 hitter, Mark Davidson, he singled his first time up. Playing left field in this game, 1-4. And that's ground ball to Ray Knight at third. 2 up and 2 down. Flanagan pitching very well for himself. And here's Al Newman. Doubled and scored in the first, flew to left in the third. 2-4 against the lefty. That's a ground ball to Ripken. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Mike Flanagan. What is this, 1979? What's he pitching like this for? So we go to the 6th. It's 3-1. Viola back out, trying to keep things where they are. Terry Kennedy, the batter. Hopefully no more snafus with the internet. At least we can hope. 6-2, lefty on lefty is a split. 1-6 is a single. 7-20 is a line out. That's a 5. So Terry Kennedy gets that leadoff single. And that'll bring up John T-Bone Shelby. Shelby, that's a 1. Chance for a wild pitch. His wild pitch rating is 1. So there's no wild pitch. 1-6, and he strikes out Shelby, 1 away. Strikeout number 6 for Viola. And that'll bring up the number 9 guy, Ken Gerhardt. Gerhardt 0 for 2. 5-8, make him 0 for 3 with another strikeout. That's 7 for Viola. But he is on the short end of a 3-1 stick. Here's Wiggins. He's 2 for 3. 5-11, and that is a ballpark blast. He has weak power. The ballpark blast is 1, 2, and 11. That's a 16, so it will just be a fly to left to end the inning. And that'll do it for the Orioles. I'm sure they are. I'm sure he's happy about it. I don't care who's playing hockey or who's doing crap. When I feel like playing Strat, I want to play Strat. I don't care who's streaming, who's playing. I don't care if it's a Super Bowl. I could give less than a crap. Or I'll use a term. I will quote ID Jester. I don't give two craps about that stuff. Well, he uses a stronger word, but I promised Mr. Little I'd keep it PG. So he uses another word that kind of rhymes with hit, but I won't go there. All right, here's Dan Gladden. 5-7, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. And of course, that's Ripken. He's 2E20. 15, he'll get to it. E20, oh, I didn't need that. E20 and a 15. E20. E20 and a 15. And there's a 15 right there, so Cal Ripken boots it. E20, it's a one base error on Ripken. E6 to start the inning. Very un-Ripken-like, but I guess he made some errors. He got E20, so he must make errors at some point. All right, here's Gladden on the base pass. Needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get the jump. 7, he can't quite do it. So he'll stay at first, and here's Kirby Puckett. 3-6, and that's a 1-16 single, so that's only one star, though, but it's first and second with nobody out for Gary Gaetti. This is the fatigue inning for Flanagan, so one more hit, he becomes tired. And with that in mind, the Oriole bullpen is loosening. They do have Dave Schmidt, a right-hander, loosening in their bullpen. So Dave Schmidt is loosening for the Orioles, should Flanagan falter. Gaetti is 0 for 2. 1-8, and that's trouble for Flanagan. 1-7 is a triple. That's a 1. It'll be a triple for Gary Gaetti, and we have a 3-3 ball game on the Gaetti triple. And as soon as I say that, I hear Tabby crying, so let me let Tabby in. 3-3 ball. I think Tabby hit the mute button. That's why there's no audio there. Thank you for letting me know that, Ben. Tabby must have stepped on there. Either I stepped on it trying to get out of Tabby's way. So hopefully we're back. So we don't want muted. Well, some people might want me muted, but I think that would defeat the purpose. But anyway, Flanagan with the strategy roll, nothing happening. Infield is in. 3-3 tie, nobody out. Gaetti at third. Infield is in. Flanagan 4-11. That's a fly ball right field X. That's trouble because Simmons is a 4E16. 4-18 though. He catches a break. Might actually get away with that. A 4 and an 18 is an F2. That will not be I'm sorry, it will be a sacrifice fly, though. F2 is still going to be a sacrifice fly. Make sure there's no error on the play. 16 and 11. There is no 11 there. There's a 12, but no 11. But the F2, unfortunately for the Orioles, does produce a sacrifice fly. And that gives the Twins a 4-3 lead, and that's going to be it for Flanagan. So now Flanagan could possibly take the loss. He was looking to get the win at one point, but it just fell apart here in the 6th inning. So Flanagan is done, and Dave Schmidt, right-hander, is loosening in the bullpen. I thought Tabby was at the door again. I heard something, but I must have been hearing things. All right. So Bernansky will be facing Schmidt. Now when I had to shut the computer down, I had to shut Strat. Obviously, Strat shut down with it. But let me go to. Let me bring the Strat computer back up so I can at least get the statistics for you as to how they're doing. So I can tell you about Mr. Schmidt. Let's check his numbers on the replay. Schmidt is 1-0, no saves, a 5.16 earned run average. This is his 11th appearance, all in relief. 22 2/3 innings pitched, 30 hits, 9 walks, 10 strikeouts. So Schmidt, a +3 hold, so that's not going to help their cause, and he's going to make him a +3. Flanagan is going to go 5 1/3, and we actually closed the book on him now because of the bases being clear. One of the runs is unearned because of the Ripken error, so he's going to give up 4 runs, 3 earned. Hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits he gave up. Walks, I don't believe he walked anyone. He did not. And he only struck out 2. All right, so Bernansky now stepping to the plate. Base is clear. With 1 out, but now the Twins with 3 in lead at 4-3. 3-7 for Bernansky against the righty is a single. Bernansky base hit. He could get the lead if they wanted to try, but he's also caught stealing automatically on an 8 and a 12. I think they're going to try to get the lead anyway because of that +3 on Schmidt. So he needs a 3 through 7 to get the lead. On an 8 or a 12, he's automatically caught. That's a 3. He gets the lead. So it's a 15. Being held makes him a 13, but the +3 is a 16. So 1 to 16, Bruno will steal it. And he does. Stolen base for Bernansky. So he's in scoring position with 1 out. Not going to be held at second base. Here's Laudner. Schmidt to Laudner 2-4, and that's a ground ball to short. That'll freeze Bernansky at second. 2 down for Lombardozzi. That's a 6-8 right-hander. That's a pop-up to first. Eddie Murray is there to end the inning, but the Twins put up a 3 spot, and they claimed the lead after 6 by the score of 4-3. We're now in the 7th inning, which means pinch hitting is allowed. So we're going to take this pitiful excuse of a human being hitter, Rick Burleson, and get him out of here. He's a DH, but he's getting out of here. In 209, we're not going to have him as our DH. We will go elsewhere. And you know I'm going to break what I can't believe I'm doing, but Floyd Rayford is going to come in and take over as the designated hitter for the Orioles. Floyd Rayford, my favorite. So Rayford takes over as the DH in the 7th inning. This is the fatigue inning for Viola, so we need to keep track of that as well. Hello, Spokane. Good to see you. All right, Viola to Rayford. Oh, and let me get Rayford's numbers on the replay. Let's see here. Rayford. Probably not doing so well, but we'll look and make sure. Where are you? Oh, actually, he's hitting .313 and 16 at bats. He's 5 out of 16. A homer and 1 run driven in. So Rayford, not as bad as I thought. But he's going to pinch hit for the useless Rick Burleson. That's a 2-7 for Rayford. That's a 1-2 single, but that's an 18, so he lines it to short. And there is one away. That'll send up Ripken. Ripken 1 for 3 with a double. Actually, it was a 2-run double he hit in the third inning that gave the Orioles a 3-1 lead at the time. 1-7, and he's got a chance for a home run, 1-5, but that's an 11, so he'll settle with another double. And now the tying run is in scoring position for Eddie Murray. Ripken obviously not being held at second. Murray is homered, struck out, and been intentionally walked. 3-5 against the lefty. He's going to walk this one unintentional. It does set up another double play chance for Ray Knight. One, that's a chance of a wild pitch. Hello, Denny. Good to see you. Chance of a wild pitch for Viola, which is only a 1. And there is no wild pitch. Viola 2-3 tonight, and he hits him. He plunked him right there, and that will make Viola fatigued. That's going to give him his third base runner. It's going to load the bases. And Nelson Simmons is your batter. Do the Twins stick with Viola is the question. He is their ace. So sometimes you give your ace a little bit more room on the chain. But you may have to play the percentages and bring in somebody a little bit better that's fresh. Now they're going to stick with Viola. They're going to make that tough decision. Tom Kelly says we're sticking with Viola. Nelson Simmons, the batter. Bases loaded. 1 out. Infield looking for the double play. .62, and it's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Al Newman. He's a 3E12. He has taken the place of Gagne tonight in the starting lineup. He's a 3E12. 3-11. Probably just going to be a fielder's choice, so the game's going to most likely be tied. We'll verify. 3-11 is a G2. Absolutely, the game's going to be tied. And his error rating's a 12. Got to avoid 15, 3, and 18. Which he does, but it's going to be a 6-4 fielder's choice to get Knight at second. Simmons will reach. Scoring is Ripken to tie the game. RBI ground out for Nelson Simmons. Going to third is Knight. So now 2 outs, and the game is tied. And they'll leave Viola in because it's a lefty-on-lefty matchup with Kennedy. First and third, 2 outs, 1 in. We're tied at 4 here in the top of the 7th. 5-11 against the left-hander. That's a ballpark blast. 1-11. That's a 4. It's gone. Terry Kennedy just took Frank Viola deep for a 3-run home run. Look at it again. 5-11 is a ballpark blast. Home runs 1-11. That's a 4. Kennedy has normal power. So Terry Kennedy just cracks a 3-run home run. And boy, Tom Kelly is wishing he had removed Viola a little sooner, but thought he could get the lefty, but Terry Kennedy says, think again. Terry Kennedy that's going to be his 9th home run, RBIs 20, 21, and 22. A 3-run shot for the catcher Terry Kennedy. And I'm convinced that the karma is for these runs is all because of being in Floyd Rayford. I think we're getting the Floyd Rayford effect. That's it for Viola. He's done. He is definitely out of there. Takes Flanagan off the hook. Schmidt can actually get the win now. So Viola's going to go 6 2/3. Let's see what he did for hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits I've got him for. Total of 7 runs, all earned. He walked 3, and he hit a batter, and he struck out 7. But now Keith Atherton will be coming on for the Twins. Right-hander Keith Atherton. We'll get the numbers on Atherton on the replay. Atherton is checking in at 0-2 with 2 saves, a 5.40 earned run average. This is his 11th appearance. 18 1/3 innings, 16 hits, 4 walks, and 18 strikeouts. So Keith Atherton, he's a 0 hold, if that happens to come up. And John Shelby will be leading things off against Atherton with 1 out, bases clear. I'm sorry, 2 outs, bases clear. 4 runs are in, though. 2-3 for Shelby against the righty as a ground ball to first, and Herbeck puts it away. But damage done. Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning for the Orioles, capped off by the 3-run homer from Terry Kennedy. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. It is the Orioles 7 and the Twins 4. And Dave Schmidt given the lead to Protect. See what he can do. And see what he can do as far as trying to hold it. Hello, D. Scott. But we are at, the Yankees-White Sox game was definitely an interesting one the other night, no doubt about it. But it is the 7th inning, so we are going to the 7th inning stretch. Again, the score, Orioles 7, Twins 4. And time to stretch and saying, take me out to the ball game. All right, we are back. 7th inning stretch. It is complete. And we're looking at the bottom of the 7th. Mark Davidson will lead off for the Twins. Newman and Gladden to follow. We are in the 7th inning, so pinch hitting is allowed. But Davidson on the replay is hitting .281. Real worldy at .267, so I don't see any reason to pinch hit for him. Newman, possibly pinch hit for him. He was a .221 hitter, so they were trying to give Gagne the game off, but they may not be able to pull it off the entire game. They may need to do something here. But right now it's Schmidt against Davidson. 6-4, and that's a catcher X. Catcher X, that's Terry Kennedy. He's a 4. 4 and a 10. We'll figure out what that is. Probably some sort of a pop out of some sort. 4 and a 10. That's a P/P, but nobody's on base, so it can't be a pass ball. And he's an E4. And so for an E4, he's got to avoid 16, 17, and 18, which he does. So P/P. P/P. If pass ball does not occur, batter pops out. So strictly a pop out. Easy pop out there. And Davidson is retired, 1 away. And now we're looking at the bench for the Twins. And we'll be looking at a pinch hitter. And the pinch hitter will be, they're going to go with Roy Smalley and leave him in to play short. Roy Smalley on the season at 275, much better hitter than Newman is. And they need offense. They're behind. So they'll give up a little bit of defense to get the offense. So Roy Smalley pinch hitting here in the 7th and playing shortstop in the 8th. On the replay, Roy Smalley is not doing quite as well. 238 on the replay. No homers, 11 driven in. But he's going to try to get something started. 5-9, switcher bang left. That's a ground ball to second. Handled by Wiggins, 2 down. And now here's Dan Gladden. 2-6, and that's a ground ball to third. Easy play for Knight. And Schmidt doing the job in relief. We now go to the top of the 8th. It is still 7-4. Atherton back out. He only faced 1 batter, so certainly not fatigued. He'll be facing Gerhart, Wiggins, and Rayford. Gerhart, Wiggins, and Rayford, your scheduled hitters, here in the top of the 8th. That's a 110 for Gerhart, and he will ground it to the new shortstop, Smalley. I'll tell you, you bring in a defensive replacement, and the ball will find you. And it certainly did. 110, ground ball short. But he was up for the task. 1 away, and here's Wiggins. That's a 4-5, and that is a strikeout. Wiggins out on strikes. 2 down for Floyd Rayford. 4-8, and he's going to strike out. Ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Score still remains 7-4. The Orioles will make a defensive change as Alan Wiggins will be lifted. Don't walk away. Rene Gonzalez will come in and play second base for Wiggins. So Gonzalez come in to play second base here in the 8th inning for Mr. Wiggins. So we have Gonzo, and he's a 3 E32. So Gonzalez will be the new second baseman, and Wiggins is out of the game. So Schmidt will start the bottom of the 8th, and he'll be facing scheduled hitters Puckett, Gaetti, and Herbeck. No reason to make any changes there. That's the heart of the order. Puckett, 2 for 3. It's a 110. That's a ballpark blast for Puckett. 1-11. That's gone. Kirby Puckett. Don't count the Twins out, particularly at home. Kirby Puckett just cracks a home run. That is home run number 4 and RBI number 10 for Kirby Puckett. And that cuts the lead to 7-5. Seven to 5 ball game now. And here's Gary Gaetti. 1-8, and that's a double. So, boy, they're starting to get to Schmidt a little bit. And now the Oriole bullpen might start to loosen again. Mark Williamson, a right-hander, is loosening in their pen. Mark Williamson. Mark Williamson is loosening in the bullpen for the Orioles in case Schmidt loses it. Tying run at the plate now, and Kent Herbeck. Nobody out. Schmidt to Herbeck. 5-11. That's a ballpark blast. 1-11. That's gone. Kent Herbeck has just tied this ball game. Look at it again. The Homer Dome strikes. 5-11. Left-handed. Ballpark blast. 1-11. That's a 9. It's gone. Kent Herbeck cracks a 2-run home run. 2-run home run for Kent Herbeck. We've got a tie game at 7. So now Viola's off the hook. For Herbeck, that is home run number 9, RBIs 23 and 24. And we are all knotted up. We are all knotted up at 7 apiece. Still nobody out. 1-8 for Bernansky. That's a walk. And now Schmidt. I think that's going to be it for Schmidt. They can't go any further with him. They will turn to Mark Williamson out of the bullpen. So Williamson will be getting the call. Schmidt definitely gets the blown save, no question about it. He goes inning and 2/3. And he's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. So far, 3 runs, but this run is his responsibility as well. 1 walk and no strikeouts. So Williamson is on to face Tim Laudner, the catcher. Laudner is 0 for 3, so the Twins could look to pinch hit here. 0 for 3. And they are going to turn to Mark Salas to pinch hit and stay in the game to catch the rest of the way. But they would like some offense. So Mark Salas, a better hitter. Mark Salas. He will pinch hit here in the 8th and catch in the 9th. Mark Salas. And Salas facing Williamson. Brunansky is at first. Can he get the lead? He's already stolen 1 base this inning. He stole it back in the 6th. But he does get caught automatically on 8 or 12. But if you get that jump, you got that +2 over there, which gives him a 1 to 15 chance. Brunansky on the replay has stolen 2 bases, not been caught yet. Boy, with nobody out, well, you know what? They're going to hold him. They're going to hold him. All right, here's Salas facing Williamson. 3-5 for Salas, and that's a hit by pitch. So he gets plunked. Don't know if that was, I can't imagine that'd be retaliation for them hitting Ray Knight. You don't want to put guys on. Could just be he's just wild. So Salas is hit by the pitch. Lombardozzi is up in an obvious bunt situation as an A bunter. So he will be dropping the bunt down. He becomes a B bunter. It's going to be fielded by the 3rd baseman, Ray Knight, as a 6. With the 6, that is the 3rd baseman, Ray Knight. He's a B bunter, so we're looking right in here. He basically needs a 9 or less to have a good bunt. That's a 4. That's actually speed. He's got a chance to beat it out. On the speed, it says batter lays down bunt, try to beat it out for a single, roll the 20-sided die. If it falls within his running range, scored a single. Lombardozzi's running range is a 14. If we roll a 1 to 14, he actually beats us out for a bunt single. He does not. It's a good sacrifice, though. So Ray Knight will throw him out 5 to 4 on the sacrifice. But now Go-ahead runs are in scoring position with only one out. And Davidson is your scheduled hitter. He is 1 for 3. Roy Smalley is on deck. Remember, he came in for Newman. Davidson will be called back. Twins are going for a left-handed pinch hitter, Randy Bird-in-the-Hand Bush. Randy Bush is going to come in and hit and stay in the game to play left field. They lose a lot defensively, but they're going for offense. Offense is the name of the game when you're trying to take the lead. So Bush will pinch hit in the 8th, stay in and play left field in the 8th. So Randy Bush on the replay is hitting .238, 2 homers, 9 driven in. So second and third, 1 out. Infield is obviously in. Williamson to Bush. 5-8, and that's a strikeout. Williamson with a huge strikeout of Randy Bush. Would have struck out the right-hander as well, so it didn't matter. That was a Kobayashi Maru there. It was not bad managing. That was a Kobayashi Maru situation, no-win situation. Had nothing to do with managing. All right, here's Roy Smalley. 2 outs. Clutch situation now. First base is open if they'd rather pitch to Gladden. But I think they're going to go ahead and pitch to Smalley. He's anti-clutch on a 1-7. If you walk Smalley, you load the bases and it forces Williamson to throw strikes, and Glad could tee off on it. So we're going to go ahead and pitch to Smalley. .510, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-16. That's a 15. It's a base hit. Twins take the lead. Scoring is Brunansky. Going to third is Laudner. Twins take the lead on the ballpark single here at the Metrodome. Again, favoring the hitters. Here now is Gladden. 9th man to bat in the inning. 3-6 for Gladden. He's going to ground it to short, and that's going to end the inning. But 3 runs come in for the Twins, and actually, no, 4 runs. I'm sorry. It was a Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning, wasn't it? Where is my correction tape? Somewhere around here I had it. Until I was messing with Tabby, and now I can't. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it's actually a 4-score inning. Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning, and now the Twins lead it 8-7, and it's Jeff Reardon time for the Twins. They will bring in Jeff Reardon to try to close it. Atherton gets a chance to get the win. The loss would be charged to Schmidt because he is assigned all 4 of those runs. That walk was Schmidt's, so they got inherited and they scored. So now, new left fielder is Bush. Keep that in mind. Smalley's the new shortstop. Jeff Reardon on the replay is 1-1 with 2 saves, a .360 earned run average. This will be his 7th appearance. He's pitched 10 innings, 9 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Yes, Roger, I have the Strat computer, so I can print off cards I don't have. Another gentleman had already done that for me for a lot of these players. So when you look at cards like Nelson Simmons, that's a card that's not carded in the 87 set. But gentleman named Joel printed some of these off for me and mailed them to me. The ones he printed off quite a few of them, not every single one of them, But if I am missing any of them, I've got the Strat computer and I can do the snip tool and get that taken care of. So top of the ninth we go. Reardon's a +1. The new catcher is Salas. Got to remember that too. Salas is the new catcher, and his arm is a +2. So it's +3. So they weaken themselves defensively for sure. But actually now that they've got the lead, they will go ahead and bring Greg Gagne in. They were trying to give him the day off, but they're going to go ahead and let him. They figured playing shortstop for 1 inning in the ninth is not going to kill him. So Gagne will take over at the shortstop position in the ninth, where he's a 2E24. 2E24 for Gagne. So Gagne is your new shortstop, not Smalley. So Reardon coming on will face the heart of the order, Ripken, Murray, and Knight, although there might be, I think there's going to be a pinch hitter for Knight. Orioles have too many good lefties on the bench, namely Jim Dwyer and Larry Sheets. They're both excellent hitters. So one or both of those could be called on to pinch hit. Of course, not for Ripken and Murray, but for Ray Knight and for Simmons. So first things first, Cal Ripken gets to try to start it off here. Try to get his team that one run that could extend this ball game. Reardon going for the save. 6-4 for Reardon. Catcher X, that's Mark Salas. Just brought him in. Mark Salas. He is a 4E1. Fortunately for him, nobody's on base. 4 and a 3. That's interesting. That could be an infield hit. Let's check the defense. 4 and a 3 is a W/G. He's an E1, so the only way he makes an error is on a 17. There's no 17. So a W/G. Let's see. With no runners on, the batter hits a squib in front of the plate, and the catcher throws him out. So good play for Salas as he throws Ripken out, 1 away. And here's Eddie Murray. He homered back in the second inning to tie the game at 1 at the time. That was his 7th home run of the season. 4-8, switch hitter batting left. That's a 1-19 single. That's definitely a base hit for Eddie Murray. Murray is aboard. He is the tying run. Nelson Simmons will not bat. We will see a pinch hitter. Actually, Ray Knight, I should say, will not bat. Neither will Simmons, actually. Jim Dwyer is going to pick up a bat and hit. Jim Washer and Dwyer is going to pinch hit for Ray Knight. Jim Dwyer pinch hitting here in the ninth for Ray Knight. Jim Dwyer. And we'll get the numbers on Dwyer on the replay. He's done quite well for himself on the replay. He is leading the Orioles in hitting. He's got a .410 average in 39 at bats, 16 out of 39. A homer, no double, no triples. 16 out of 39, a double, no triples, 5 home runs, 10 runs batted in, a .410 average. So Dwyer, and let's get the havoc roll for Murray. Nothing going on. Reardon to Dwyer. That's a 3-7 for Dwyer, and that's a walk. That will put runners at first and second. And we'll get a pinch hitter for Simmons. It's going to be Larry Sheets. Larry Sheets will pinch hit for Simmons as Mr. Reardon struggling a bit. Larry Sheets will stay in the game and play right field if it goes to the bottom of the ninth. First and second now. 1 out. Who's left on the bench for the Orioles? The only guy left on the bench is Fred Lynn. He's the only one left that has not been used. Fred Lynn. Eddie Murray runs at a 12 at second base, but they don't have anybody on the bench that has more speed, so they're going to stick with him. He will not be held. Larry Sheets on the replay is hitting .224, 3 homers, 8 driven in. .210, and that's a ground ball. Pitcher A is going to end the ball game. Look at that. 1-6-3 on a .210, a 1-6-3 double play, and the Twins get out of it and escape this ball game with a win, 8-7. Jeff Reardon nails down the save. So Reardon pitches the 9th inning. Atherton only went a third of an inning. Is that right? No, he went an inning and a third. Not bad. An inning and a third with giving up nothing. He gets the win. Does Atherton? He gave up nothing. Struck out 2. Reardon, a walk and a hit, but no runs, no strikeouts. He gets the save. Atherton with the win. Let's get his updated stats. With the win, Atherton gets his first win of the season. He's 1-0 now. And with the save, Reardon picks up his 3rd save. The loss goes to Dave Schmidt for the Orioles. And Schmidt, with that loss, will drop to 1-1. He evens his record at 1-1. Orioles drop to 12-15. The Twins improve to 11-16. Let's look at all the numbers and get everything cleaned up here because it's rather messy. Orioles made an error. The Twins did not. Check out the hits. Let's see. Williamson went. Let's see where he came in here. So Williamson gave up 1 hit, no runs, and he got a strikeout. And he ended up getting all 3 outs. So he got 1 inning there. So for the Twins, they have 8 runs and 12 hits, no errors. For the Orioles, 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. Winning pitcher Keith Atherton, he is now 1-0. Jeff Reardon's 3rd save, and Schmidt, the loss, he drops to 1-1. Orioles 12-15, Twins 11-16, and that completes the May 7th because that's the only game played on May 7th in the American League. We get a whole brand new set of series on May the 8th, and the first game there, I always try to play it East Coast to West Coast. First game will be California and Boston from Fenway. And let's get you a pitching matchup on that one. Pitching matchup is California is going to have John Candelaria, and Boston will have Ron Juckett's favorite pitcher, Bob Stanley. So it'll be Bob Stanley against the Candyman, John Candelaria. That will be Saturday evening. Tomorrow night will be Inside Pitch 1977 game of the day. We will be at April the 13th, which just happens to be my birthday. And it'll be the Houston Astros hosting the Cincinnati Reds, Joaquin Andujar against Jack Billingham. And then, of course, on Saturday at noon is the NBC Game of the Week on season ticket baseball. And that will match the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets from Shea Stadium. Steve Carlton on the mound for the Phillies against some guy named Mike Brewert for the Mets. So that's the schedule, the intended schedule for the next couple of games. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. There's a DH in here, but you can still do some managing with the DH, as you can see. I made 8 substitutions, so you can definitely still manage with the DH. Yes, it's more fun to manage without the DH, but you can still manage with the DH. It is still possible. So thank you all for tuning in, and especially the people that stayed with me from the very beginning when I had the internet issue and I had to reboot. Fortunately, when I came back, everything went internet-wise went smoothly, and there was no problemas. So let's go do it from here. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. If you get an extra day for the holidays, if you're off tomorrow, enjoy that. 3-day weekend coming up for almost all of us here shortly. Of course, my retirement is coming up too because I'm retiring 2 weeks from tomorrow. So I'm narrowing it down. I got 9 work days left. So, and then I retire, and I'm looking extremely forward to it. So, but until then, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And as usual, I will see you all down the road.